Well, it wasn't that long ago. I went out to the mailbox and got something in the mail that related to pollinators and growing things that benefit insects that move pollen around. And it got me thinking, you know, we've never done a Ranger Nick on bees, honeybees in particular. And I thought, you know, UGA has a world-renowned expert in honeybees, and he's joining me actually this month. I want to introduce you to Dr. Keith Delaplane. Hey, Doc.
Hey, Nick.
Good to be with you this month. You
My
might
pleasure.
remember Dr. Delaplane from a segment not too long ago about the giant murder hornets. Did I say that right?
Close enough.
Close enough for me, right? So this is a wonderful thing to spend a little time together today, Doc, talking about honeybees. And I want to start by asking you a question. You've been doing this kind of work, UGA, 31 years.
That's right.
A lot of experience. What is your take on the status of honeybees right now? When I learn things in writing about their status, their conservation, they need help. Talk to us about that first.
Yeah, well, honeybees have been having some health issues for about the last 15 or 20 years that have really gotten acute in recent years. And it is a mix of many causes, you know, pesticides, exotic parasites and diseases, intensified management. So it's been a chronic situation. Honeybees are somewhat resilient because, as a part of normal beekeeping, beekeepers can make up their winter losses by splitting the surviving colonies. So we have a loss every winter that beekeepers, you know, recover every spring, and so it creates the appearance that they're doing fine, when in fact that loss each year does cost money. And so it's hard on the sustainability of beekeeping.
And that's one of the things that you're studying here at the horticulture farm, right in Watkinsville, Georgia, looking at this kind of stuff. What I'm curious about, UGA has a honeybee program. Is a lot of your efforts related to conservation of honeybees, I'm guessing?
Yes, we are. Our program is mostly focused on honeybees, but we're interested and work with other species of bees as well. And I think that's an important point, Nick, that you know, pollination is not just honeybees. They are one of over 3,000 species that contribute economically to our crop production every year. Honeybees have the advantage of being manageable. But there's lots of wild pollinators out there that are important and need to be appreciated.
And need to be appreciated, right? And they give us all the puns we could do today. And they give us the great honey and the things that we can eat. So what I want to do now is I want to show the folks at home what it's like to be a beekeeper. I've got the suit here, and let me tell you, it was quite an adventure getting this thing on. All right, so I've got my veil on, I've got my gloves on, we're ready for the party, and Doc, here we are at an actual hive out here. And you'll notice that Dr. Delaplane has his veil on as well, but no other parts of the suit like I do. These bees know him. They don't know me, plus I'm pretty nervous right now, okay? So Doc, how are we gonna get into their home?
Well, Nick, if there were one tool that I needed to get into a beehive, this would be it. This is a smoker. And as long as humans have kept honeybees, they have recognized the importance of smoking them. When you smoke a beehive, it masks the alarm scent that the bees put off when their nest is breached.
Interesting.
And it causes just an overall gentling in the behavior of the bees so they don't get as excited. So I'm going to use my hive tool and crack these individual frames apart. The bees glue them together with a substance called propolis, which is plant resins.
That they bring to this hive.
That's right.
Interesting.
And I'm going to kind of just gently pull this up because I don't want to roll the bees or injure them if I can avoid it.
Right.
And so we have some interesting stuff here.
And I'm looking at these combs right here. Talk to us about what that is. How is that made?
These combs are made of beeswax, and beeswax is a product of the bees' own bodies. They have glands. When they ingest nectar, then the glands can convert that nectar into wax. And it comes out as little flakes, about the size of a sesame seed.
Wow.
And then the bees can take those little flakes of wax and form them into these repeating cells.
Wow, and look at how calm they are. I mean, they're just kind of working along. They've got their combs that are built. Then the honey part, Doc, what is honey?
Ah, you are looking at honey.
Here we go, okay.
Honey is dehydrated nectar. And so, of course, bees are going to travel to flowers and collect the nectar and collect the pollen. And they bring it back to their hives, and they put this raw, watery nectar inside the cells, and then they fan it with air circulating through the nest, and it dehydrates it into honey. Wow. And the whole reason they do that is to preserve the nectar over winter.
All right, so we ventured back inside and we're joined by another guest now. This is Dr. Andrew Patterson. Hey, Doc.
Hey.
Geneticist, professor in crop and soil sciences at UGA. We're going to talk the genetics part in just a second, but Keith, I want to look at this. This is a big sticky pad, I think. Talk to me about how this plays into the hive we were just at.
Well, what you're seeing here is called a sticky sheet, and it's marked off in grids, and it is sticky. And beekeepers and scientists can put these sheets on the floor of a beehive, and it collects the parasites and the insects and other pests that may drop off of the bees and land on the floor. So it makes an easy way to come and diagnose what problems the colony may be having. This one does have a lot of varroa mites. That's V-A-R-R-O-A. Okay. And this is public enemy number 1 if you are a honeybee. This is an exotic parasite that's native on another species of honeybee from Southeast Asia, and it's been introduced all around the world. And on the western honeybee, which we use, it's a devastating parasite. And so it's very much front and center of all the research that's being done on honeybee health. So we're trying to find more sustainable methods of keeping colonies resistant to parasites such as this. And genetics and genetic breeding and improvement is the obvious answer.
And that's something that you guys are working on now through some grant proposals and things to understand the genetic mapping of some of these bees and what those characteristics are. Is that kind of the deal?
People like me who have worked with DNA and genomics in other organisms, in my case in plants, have techniques that translate pretty well to honeybees. So we're very much looking to build a lot of information about the exact genes that are responsible for the bees being able to mitigate things like varroa or increase honey production or reduce swarming.
And the collaborations that happen at UGA, and now I'm involved with these two super brilliant guys, which I'll lower the IQ here for us. Guys, thank you all so much for joining us today. Really, really appreciate it. I hope you all have enjoyed this as well. You know what to do. Hop online, check out the Farm Monitor Facebook page, and while you're on there, check out the Ranger Nick Facebook page and see what kind of stuff I'm up to. And until next time, guys, like we always say, I'm Ranger Nick for the Farm Monitor, reminding you that enthusiasm is contagious. So pass it on. Y'all, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you right back here next month. See ya.